Okay, this is to show the changes or what could be with the magicka. So I have myself a high elf without this points into the high elf. I do have the points into undaunted. I do have the points in the mage guild, and I have a bunch of mage guild skills slotted. I'm running Necropotence, or Necropotence, whatever you want to call it. So I have my volatile familiar. I'm running Bound Aegis in order to, I'm trying to max magicka here. I'm just trying to buff magicka out. Inner Light, some magicka skills, mage skills, and a meteor. This is to get my max magicka. Now my other bar, I still got Inner Light and I still got the familiar, but I dropped Aegis, Entropy, and Fire Rune for Hardened Ward, Haunting Curse, and Crushing Shock. That's just to show maybe a little more moderate. I'm not quite completely investing into 100% max magicka, which you can see on the bar swap. On one bar, I've got 56.8. On the other bar, I got 51.5. Got all my champion points spent. I've increased max health and max magicka. I have the Mage Mundus to increase my max magicka. I'm running 5 Necropotence, all gold divines. I'm running 5 Destro Mastery with double Destros so that I get the points on both sides. I've got 1 heavy Grothdar for the 1-piece magicka bonus, and 1 medium Grothdar or Infernal for another 1-piece magicka bonus. And these 3 I've left with stamina enchants, where these are all magic enchants. These 3 are stamina. The reason for that is I'm trying to account for an additional 2,000 stamina being added to the base. If you take these 3 enchants, you add 868 magicka, 868 magicka, and 351 magicka, you get 2,080 magicka or so, which is approximately the magicka exchange that we're going to get when we swap. So remember, I don't have these skills spent. I don't have the 10% magicka yet. So when I go to my high bar here, when I add those enchants, you'll see how much it goes up. Alright, so let's add magicka enchants. This is if we are in the next patch and our Rachel's changed and we have 2,000 more magicka. I get 60k magicka on that bar. On the more conservative bar, I have 54.3k magicka. Now before we go and add those passives, we need to make these go back to as if we didn't have a max magicka bonus there. I mean a 2,000 magicka bonus there. So now we're back to the 56.8. And then let's add our 10% max magicka. That puts us up to 61.297. So we gain almost 1,300 magicka on the high end. And on the other side, it's 55.9. So on this side, we actually gain a little more conservative setup. We gain almost, what's that, 1,600 magicka? So now that's if we're running everything max magicka. The only thing we swapped is the skills. So if I go in here, I can't really change my Mundus right here real quick, but I can change my sets. So let's put on maybe a more PvE setup. That needs to go there. Alright, so this is a little more PvE setup. We still have our high max magicka bar, which is going to be at 48.4, and our low max magicka bar, which is going to be at 45.5. That's with that racial passive. So I go in here and I remove that. My high bar goes to 44.9. My low bar goes to 42. That's without anything. We add in the 2000 max magicka. And we go to 48.1 and 45. So we were at what, 48.4? So we lost like 400. Well, at 40.1 we lost like 300 magicka. Oh no, it's probably closer to 400. And we lost, yeah, about the same, 400 or 500 on the conservative side. So basically, if you're not heavily invested into magicka, like you're not trying to stack magicka through the roof. I mean, we're still all arcane here. We're still Mage Mundus. You know, it's still somewhat invested into max magicka. We still have what, two max magicka bonuses, 3 max magicka bonuses just from our sets. We're still somewhat invested in max magicka, but it's not as bad as maybe it is. You know, you might lose in certain scenarios. You might lose up to 1500, but only if you are, you know, really investing heavily into a max magicka. That you have to be pumping everything into max magicka and ignoring everything else. So if you're not pumping just an extreme amount into max magicka, you're really not going to lose much. Which we can go again. We can show we're at 48.1. So let's put this back to health. And then let's add this. I don't need to go there. Yeah, it's 350 on that bar. It's a little bit higher on this bar. This was like 45.50, so it's more like 500 on the little more conservative. But still, 500. It's 50 spell power. It's nothing compared to the 250 you'll be gaining.